Darrell, another frustrating afternoon done by a set piece today. What did you make of that?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. We talked all about for the last few weeks doing the basics well, doing the things that you need to do well to get points out of games, and then we don't do our job for a set piece, and they score with their only attempt on target. So huffed and puffed again. Final third, hit the post a couple of times. They didn't really pose any threat. We didn't have enough quality to break them down on a more consistent basis, and then we switch off at a set piece. So the way it's going at the minute, and it's a tough old slog.
How will you sort of break that down then? Will there be things you were happier with today, generally speaking, apart from that moment?
I don't see any happiness after the result when you've lost, if I'm honest with you, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to do the basics of the game and concede a goal from a set piece, there's nothing positive to be about that, and I'm sick of saying it, to be honest with you. But what I will do is keep fighting, always. It's a real negative place at the minute, rightly so, with the results that we're having. I've got to keep a siege mentality within the players, but I've also got to keep smashing out that softness out of them, because one soft moment costs us the points again today. So it's not acceptable. I always let my feelings know to my players, but we can't become victims. We've got to roll our sleeves up, and go again.
And sorting that out and keeping that positivity, does that just fall on you, or can other people help with that?
Listen, we've got one or two leaders in there. Lockyer obviously coming to the club, one or two experienced players with Ellis, know what the club's about when things aren't going well. I obviously do as well, but sometimes I want to see that come from within as well, because we do that. I do that as a consistent, like I said to the boys, I'm the most resilient guy you'll ever meet, in my opinion. What I've gone through in my life and what I've gone through in football, I've always got back up off the canvas at 9, and I've continued to do that. And that's what I demand from my players, is don't become victims. Too many soft victims in there for me at times after the game there today. I expect Monday morning we've got to work again, we roll our sleeves up, and we just work hard to turn it round, because that's the only thing you can do, because nobody's going to help us. There's not going to be no support. The fans have lost their patience, get it, understand it. Great fan base, great support today. I get that. So no one's going to help us. It's not going to be like a magic one where someone's going to go, oh, come and give us a cuddle, or I'll give you a cuddle. No, we've got to do it ourselves. Today was a more dogged performance. Defended well, hit the post a couple of times, had our moments in final thirds, didn't take them. Defensively pretty strong most of the game, but it counts for nothing if you don't get anything out of the game, and that's what we did today. We chucked away the points again.
Does that soft underbelly with some of them surprise you a little bit?
No, because I think sometimes it's the modern day player that becomes victims. I think it's too easy. I think when things aren't going well in their lives, the resilience ain't there, the appetite to prove people wrong is what I need to see. And don't get me wrong, when I start getting one or two back and starting changing the, shall we say, the culture within that, as in, lads get on great, the culture at the training ground's good, but we're really soft at times, like that today. And then until I can get one or two more men back in the team, some more leaders back in the team, the other lads have got to dick in and show, a little bit more doggy today, but more quality as well.
Housekeeping, Will Sotirio, Shaq Ford, not involved at all today, injured or just not selected?
No, not selected. Need more from the forward-thinking players. Need more from every single one of them. Need everybody to be training with the intensity that I demand. And if not in the squad. Simple. Quite simple with me, for me is that I can only modicil players so long, and I'm not chucking players on the bus. I'll take accountability, I do that, but what I won't do is I won't modicil players if we ain't got the intensity right in our training, because the only way you get into form is by training right every single day, by body language, by attitude, and if they're not, I don't care who they are, they won't be in the squad. But we'll reset Monday morning, there'll be another 18 bodies picked next Saturday, and we'll see who wants it.
And do you think your message is getting through?
Well, obviously not at the minute, no, it isn't, because the amount of defeats we've lost in the league is nowhere near getting through, to be honest with you. But I want to keep drilling that message, keep fighting that message. Me and my staff keep working away, chipping away to give our supporters something that they deserve, and they deserve a hell of a lot better than what we're giving up.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Tom, another tough one today. What was your assessment and what happened out there?
Oh God, yeah. That's just the way it's going for us at the minute. Honestly, it feels like started the game well. We were well in the game. We were having chances. We were hitting the post, and then just sucker punch, set piece again. We just in them moments they're just not going for us, and trying to put your finger on it is really hard at the minute, because it's it's not just one thing. It seems like a collective of things. So yeah, massively disappointing. Felt we more than deserved something out of the game. But look, these are the things. It's another game. I look at Steph and Clint next to me after the game, and I said, "How did you feel?" And none of us felt threatened all through the game again. But somehow we've come away with nothing.
As the captain of this side, albeit recently arrived, and with a responsibility, I guess, as one of the leaders, how hard is it to come in and try to sort of turn a situation like this around?
No, it is difficult. Look, there's people low confidence in there with the run that we've been on, and yeah, I don't know. Like, we need it to go in off someone's backside and for it to go in, and I feel like that could just be the catalyst that we need, but at the minute it's just not happening for whatever reason, and it's definitely not lack of effort. You know, we got a GPS vest that tell us that, because that's the first thing I look for when we go on this run. You know, are people starting to hide her? But no, the effort was still there, probably the only thing, and this is probably because of the run we've been on. It just didn't feel like once we went down that there was that real belief that we were going to get back in it. And look, that's probably the run we've been on, the lack of confidence. Boys were still trying, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't that real belief. And the Darrell Clarke sides we've had in the past, they were never known when they were beat. So that's where we want to get to, but it's so hard to put your finger on it and say, how do we get there? Because everything at the minute just seems to be going against us. And look, this is not me being a victim, by the way. Like, it just feels like, you know, we need men to stand up and take one in the goalies or whatever, head the ball away, whatever it takes, just to protect that clean sheet. And the majority of the game, look, that was the case. But and then in these moments, they're just going against us again.
And players look up to you. It's clear, whoever we talk to, and you are the captain now, will you go around and try to help with those confidence levels and help with sort of general morale?
Yeah, of course. Look, you have to. Like, you have to demand. Of course, you have to demand. And look, every day you have to demand the standards, because that's, you know, I always say it's not a light switch. You can't just turn it on and off. You've got to be at it every day. And that's been good. Like, I can't fault that. But like I said, confidence is low, and it's not just going to be me saying, "Oh, look, you're a good player," that's going to change that. It's going to be results. It's going to be a performance. And I think we had the performance today. We just didn't have the result to go with it. Just couldn't get that ball in the back of the net. I think we hit the post twice. And look, if that drops the other side of the post, I genuinely think we go on to win that game. The same would have been the other day at Aki, and, you know, even Gillingham when he hits a worldie. If we get a goal before that. But it just feels at the minute when we do go behind that, you know, there's that, you know, not acceptance, but like, we just don't really believe that we're going to get back in it.
And how are you feeling now? Another 90 minutes. How are your levels and sort of getting into the rhythm of playing regular football again?
Yeah, it has been tough. Obviously, I wanted to get back playing as soon as possible, but, you know, it's different from training. You know, you need to build these things up. So to get 90 now, look, I didn't feel great by any means, and I don't expect to for at least another few games, if I'm being honest. But as soon as I've got that base fitness, then I feel like I can kick on. And I think probably the thing I found most is when when I'm blowing and I'm finding it tough. It's just that communication when you're gasping for air instead. So that's probably the biggest thing. But yeah, look, that'll come. We just obviously want it to be with a few more wins as well.
And you'll know how much the gas heads are hurting. A lot of them here today. What can you say to them tonight on a night like this?
Well, look, in the huddle before the game, I said to the lads, I said, look behind you. I said, who wants to score in front of that? Because I do. Like, they bang with us. Like, couldn't have asked for anything more. And then I think they sensed it as well, because when we went behind, they started singing, like, you know, not nice things, which is obviously not nice to hear as a player when you're trying to give it all for the badge. So, look, and we said after, look, obviously they're entitled to their opinion, and it's got to hurt, boys. Like, you can't be happy with what they're saying and singing there. Like, it's got to hurt, but you've got to use that as fuel now as well to say, come on, let's put this right together. Because as quick as they get on our backs, like, they'll be quick to come with us again. And look, I've been relegated with this club, and it hurt like hell. And there was a lot of that week in, week out. And you know, you have to turn it around, otherwise it can be a real tough place to play.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.